Yeah.
Well, yours are. Now, mine should be as well. Yeah, there I am. All right, hello.
Yep, it's working.
Okay.
There we go. It's working for me.
Okay, let's see there.
Here I am.
Rock me like a
Rocking
hurricane.
hurricane. Oh, that's pretty good.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Mike. You gotta say it.
Okay.
Otherwise, what?
Yeah, it's true. I'll make it your problem.
Yeah. I don't want to get yelled at.
Opens go down.
All right. That looks good. Music was working. Let me make sure the outro is going to be right. Yeah, the outro should play just fine. That's the stop button. There we go.
That beanie makes you look like you're in a 2001 comedy movie.
Thanks, man. Means a lot to me. I'm about to say some really messed up
Something
shit.
offensive? Yeah.
You saw something really homophobic.
Uh-huh.
But it's okay because you respect women more than you did 5 years ago.
That's right. Uh-huh. It's baby steps. All right, one more chance to see if Opera's going to show up in the sound mixer. Why? I mean, Windows, how you decide to do things is a mystery. It's a beautiful mystery. You are a flower that I never want to unfurl. Okay.
YouTube is a piece of garbage.
Yep. Everything
There's
sucks, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. You're good. You're good. Let me get this doc up.
I was watching a Monster. The IGN does their Monster Hunter first thing, and I was watching a video, and that game has so much like fire and shit going on. Even in like 4K, it looks horrible. The compression of the video is crazy. It's like, what are you doing? YouTube, this is your thing. You should be doing the thing better.
Sure, it's your whole thing.
Yeah, you do video. That's it.
Okay, I think I'm as good as I'm going to be. I'm ready to start.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Okay, I'll count us in, and we'll get started. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in there. And actually, you know what? Let me get the YouTube chat up. That's what I was missing out on because I was fixing everything else. Live.
And if you... Why do I have this open? Close that.
All right. Okay, there we go. Let's do this thing. I'm gonna count you in, Mike. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof, woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I'm a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
We are the last of the Nintendogs.
Ruff, ruff.
Today, are you going to the Switch 2 preview event? Probably not. What's the Switch 2 gonna be priced at? I'm scared. And what are the 100 best Nintendo Switch games ever? Let's start that process. But first, Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm worn out. Steph's out of town. She'll get home tomorrow. So I've been alone with the kids, and they go to school during the day, so that's fine. But it's then every night they get home, and it's the things that we normally split up and handle separately. I've done it all, and it's and then I'm still like, I don't want to skip the show. I don't want to miss it. I'm enjoying it. Still trying to do that. So pretty worn out, but happy to just sit here and talk about video games with you.
Fantastic. Yeah, because there's some kind of shake-up at leadership at Sony that just happened.
Yeah, Tom, I saw someone in the chat say Herman Hulst demoted.
Hiroki Totoki is now the president and CEO. Hideki Nishino is the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Herman Hulst will continue to lead the development, publishing, and business operations of SEI's first-party content. So it sounds like they're not like equals anymore.
Sure. I can't make sense of this. Okay. Okay. Well, apparently I missed something from 12 minutes ago. So let me see here. All right. I won't be able to. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to say anything more about this, though. So, at least based on the sources I have right now. So all we can do is speculate, Mike. Yeah, hey, I don't know. I don't know how like what to read into this.
I mean, come on, it's got to be fallout from Concord and these games getting canceled, right?
I guess, but it's like, God, can't you just pin that on? I mean, the whole thing about Jim Ryan leaving is you get to pin that all on Jim Ryan and let him leave.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I never got the sense. Well, okay, Herman Hulse definitely was like gung ho on getting that stuff to happen with what's their game, Horizon. So I guess maybe guilt by association. I don't know, but they're all in on it. They're all guilty. So yeah, listen, the shakeup at the very least, you're right, probably is like we need to rethink what our future is going to be. And maybe they think that these people are the best ones to do it. I don't know, but that company and it's like the way that it organizes its executive leadership and the way that Shuhei Yoshida was eventually like kind of demoted, right? Or at least it felt, or he stepped down. I guess we don't really know. And then the way like Sean Layden seemed to be shifted out of the company so they could put other people in charge. Also seemed weird. And the way that they've had a lot of talented people working at that company, and a lot of them have chosen to leave, especially during those times before Jim Ryan took over. That seemed to be like a major shakeup. I don't know. It always feels like there is some serious corporate politicking happening in that company constantly. And of course it is. That's how it works everywhere. But it just feels very aggressive in there. And I don't know if this is that, but that's always the sense I get from what is happening over at Sony.
Yeah, see, so many times when we have these companies go from one leader to two and they're supposed to be equals, Blizzard had that same problem, right? Not too long ago when first it was, Michael Moorheim left and it was Howard Brack. And then when he left, there's like, here's two people that are in charge. And that lasted less than a year. Insomniac's going to have three people sharing that now. So it always seems like we revert back to one person being in charge of these things again. Yeah. I mean, definitely just feels like, I don't want to say the house is on fire over there, but they're freaking out a little bit clearly. You've said this before. It's kind of like some people want to understate Concord. Maybe don't. Maybe don't. It seems like that really has been a bit of a freak out moment for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much money tied up into that strategy that Concord was spearheading. I guess you could say Helldivers 2 was spearheading it, but really Concord was the spearhead in terms of these big budget, massive investment live service games that are intended to go on forever. Like we saw stories this week, the guy that oversees Helldivers 2, Pilstedt, I can never remember how to say his name, already talking about his next game. Now he's talking about taking a break before the next game, but he's like, I've been working on Helldivers 2 for a long time. And I'm sort of like looking past that now and looking to take a break and then work on what's next. So it's like he's not like trying to make Helldivers 2 his forever project. And I think Concord was intended to be like the first one that was really, really going to be that. And it didn't work. And so many of these other games were following that same exact formula. And so the amount of money tied up into that has that company freaked out. Of course it does. I mean, I think that's just such an easy conclusion to draw. But yeah, I've confirmed that. So yeah, definitely. I don't know. House not on fire. You're right. House definitely not on fire, but they can see fire, I think, is kind of where
they're smelling a little smoke at the moment, right?
Exactly.
And I think about that line you said a while ago, right? They won the console war, so what? I think about that all the time.
Yep, me too. It's because they have to move past the console. It really is that the way both Xbox and PlayStation are in that situation where the amount of money they spend making games cannot be justified by the amount of money that we spend on console games. So
right now, it's worth saying that they're saying Hulse is still going to lead software, right? Blah blah blah.
Yep.
But it's clear that he is now reporting to somebody.
Yeah, he was
right?
He was co-CEO. Like that's that. Yeah. He's not co-CEO. He's not CEO at all anymore. So. Yeah, I mean, maybe again, we don't know. Maybe he's saying I could do my job better if I don't have these other responsibilities, and it'd probably make more sense if I could focus on the games. That's a possibility as well. And if someone wants to take that reading into it, I would be willing to hear that for sure. But they are trying to figure out what the future looks like, and they're shaking things up to do that. It's like you have a team, a sports team, and you try to shake up the lines or the lineup. So you could try to generate some offense. That kind of is what this feels like to me.
Somewhat related, speaking about live service games, maybe owned by Sony, kind of. You see Destiny 2's Star Wars collaboration?
I saw. I think I just saw another Fortnite Star Wars collaboration. So no, I don't think I did.
Yeah, Destiny 2's getting Star Wars skins.
Was that maybe that was Destiny 2? That's
I think
weird.
that's Destiny 2 that you saw, and I think you thought it was.
I think
Fortnite
did I just assume it was Fortnite? Oh my god! Okay,
it was Fortnite.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for Destiny 2. That's
I know. It's like,
it was. Oh my god, that's just Destiny 2. I saw it. I assumed it was Fortnite.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the Destiny people think about this. And I always get cynical a little. But
if only we knew one.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian, what do you think about Star Wars skins in Fortnite? Or Destiny 2?
They need money. Like,
of course.
Is this what they're going to do to get money?
I'll tell you what. So? That is the first thing I thought, too, when I saw it, is they need money.
Yes, this motherfucker do be needing that money. And I guess this is the way they're going to do it. And I was like, all right, they just announced a new, like, episode or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know the name anymore.
Right.
Of their content, and it was like, well, we'll see. And now we're all like, oh, all right, we'll see what's going on. We don't know yet. So I hope this works, I guess.
Man,
I like Destiny, and I hope it continues. Like, I don't know.
I mean, there's people in our chat that are saying, like, man, these costumes look sick. So, hey, I don't
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean,
look, it works.
Yeah,
both things are true.
Some sense.
Yeah, both things are true. It reeks of desperation, of needing money, and they did a pretty good job of integrating it. I think that this highlights the issue that a lot of these games have, right? When you look at these costumes. So it's a stormtrooper, one of the red Imperial Guard suits, and maybe like a death trooper or something like that. They're going with things that look like they could kind of make sense in Destiny 2. And that is the thing that like always handcuffed that Last of Us multiplayer game, Factions.
Right.
Was like, hey, they sent in the Destiny 2 team in there to look at it and say, hey, can we monetize this thing in a way that makes sense? It's like, could we put Star Wars skins in here? No, then you probably can't do it. And now the Destiny 2 team is like having to make that make sense. And like, it's not Luke and Han and Leia. It's not the new cast or anything like that. It's a bunch of stormtroopers that look like they make sense in Destiny 2. And there's only so many things you can go to that are going to fit that aesthetic if that's important to you still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, it's just, Destiny 2 used to take itself seriously. It's kind of what it just sort of makes me think. Look, I get it. I get why we're here.
Yeah, there's an HBO show called Extras, and I'm not a huge Gervais fan, whatever his name is. Ricky Gervais. But it was called Extras. It was his show. I had a lot of great guest stars on it. The Patrick Stewart was fantastic on it. But there was a point where he was an extra in shows trying to be a real actor. He always like, Robert De Niro is my favorite actor. I want to be a serious actor like him. And he got some success, and then the success faded. And he's like, I still want to be taken seriously. And his agent's like, look, do you want to be taken seriously and not get any more work, or do you want to still be on the telly? Do you still want to be on television? And he's like, I guess like sheepishly, I still want to be on TV. And so he does all he does Doctor Who, and he does all this stuff that he thinks is below him, and he does reality TV shows, things like that. And it's like that is the path for everything. Like, we're in a society where it's like, you want to keep making money, eventually you have to debase yourself. And so, yeah, it's a little debased, and some people are not going to care at all and are going to think it looks cool. I think it looks kind of cool. I don't play Destiny 2. I'm not going to buy this. But I think it looks kind of fine.
That's the thing.
But it is debased.
That's the thing. Like, is anybody going to check Destiny? Because I literally log into Fortnite just to see the skins. I'm that idiot. Is people going to be like, oh, I used to play Destiny, I'm gonna buy this thing and like play a little bit of Destiny? I don't know. That's the vibes around the games are just atrocious. So I don't know what to say.
Well, let's talk about Nintendo. On our Nintendo podcast, right? Yes. Even though, talking about Switch 2 preview seems a little bit less exciting than some of the stuff that's just popping off. But yeah, the Switch 2 preview events that are happening in some cities around the country, I think around the world, people could kind of sign up for them via email, and you would get told if you're kind of made it in the lottery or not. Those invitations are going out now, Jeff. I'm hearing a lot of people saying they didn't get it. I'm not seeing a whole lot of people saying that they got the golden ticket per se here. Did you even try to get into one of these?
I did not. They're
not that close to us.
Yes,
we have to go to New York or Chicago.
That was the big thing, is they're not too close to us. But it's like, I suppose if like they invited us out there, we would pay our way out there. So that was my thinking. Yeah. Hey, maybe they'll have a separate one for press, and we'll just go to that. Now, we haven't heard about that, so Maybe they won't. Maybe I should have tried to get in there. I saw Kit and Krista didn't just like apply. They applied to like every single one around the world, or at least to 8 different ones. Like in Europe as well, and they didn't get into any of them. So
Wow.
that's the kind of situation we're dealing with here. And it's like I you know, at a certain point, I will let people try to get in there and not try to take up one of those spots. And then if Nintendo wants to do something where they are going to have the press out there, maybe one of us will get out there, and that'll be a good time. But
Yeah. Probably Chicago's not getting one, so there's also just not that many of them too.
yeah, there's like some big cities that you think would make sense, but it's like no, they're not doing that. So you know, Nintendo always has stuff like this, whether it's a bus tour from city to city for Wii U games. One time that did come to Columbus, and I went there to that and like got on their giant RV or their tour bus or whatever and played some weird indie games for the Wii U. They'll do these kinds of things, and sometimes they'll go everywhere, and sometimes they're like, no, you can come to us. We're going to be in New York. See you there.
Yeah, I remember they would do a lot of mall tours and things like that. There's like a little bit of FOMO, Jeff, but I'm also like, how time goes by so fast for me anymore. I'm like, if I blink, I'm going to have a Switch 2 in my own hands. And, you know, it's even more exciting when you get it for the first time. You haven't actually had a chance to hold one or touch one yet, right? I still remember the first time getting my hands on a Wii U, and I never went to some preview event or anything, and just holding that controller, I was like, this is important. Not Wii U, the Wii, just the Wii. I'm like, oh, this is important. This is so cool. So it'll be neat to see it early, but it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah, it's I would love the chance to play it early, but you're right. April, we're going to get a big video demonstration of what this thing looks like, and then I imagine it's not going to be that long of a wait after that. So the excitement will be there for me either way. But yeah, listen, if there's a media event, I'll go to that.
Other thing, Jeff, lots of people now, you know, we had months and months and months of when are they going to announce the Switch 2 rumors, right? Well, now they've announced the Switch 2. So a lot of that focus has shifted on the price. How much is the Switch 2 going to cost? Lots of rumors get floated around there. You see kind of everything from like the $350 to $450 range getting floated around there. Some people worry even more so because of tariffs. Is there any rumor out there that you believe right now? You still think that this is very much up in the air? Where are you feeling the price is going to be?
I mean, I think it's going to be 400. Because, you know, there is a time where it's like, I would have been like, hey, this thing could be 450, 500. And I suppose it still very much could be. But I think after the PS5 Pro, people, you know, being like the price sensitivity it's not like a sensitivity anymore. It's like it's a sore spot where it's just like it hurts now anytime we see a price that feels way out of whack from what we're accustomed to. And I just think the step up of, you know, the Switch launches at 300, then they have a Switch Lite at 200, and then they had a Switch OLED at 350. You just slot this in at 400, and it feels like it makes sense, right? It's more powerful than the OLED, so of course it's more than the OLED, and the OLED never went down in price, so it's just such an easy story to tell to consumers, and I think people would accept that very easily. Now, that doesn't take into account that they probably could charge more and still sell a lot of all of these. All these things would still sell at 450, even probably 500. But I think that they are, you know, and then of course tariffs and uncertainty and just general inflation causing the price on all the components to go up over time. So this thing probably is going to be pretty expensive to make, but not as expensive as some things. They are using an older chipset, something that will probably be relatively affordable for them through NVIDIA. There's a lot of factors, but I think 400 just feels so right that it would be weird if it's not 400.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. You know, we saw that kind of shell shock people had at that PlayStation 5 Pro price coming in at $700. And I guess it's hard to tell. Do we have a sense yet of how well the Pro did? If maybe people think that 700 was too much for, if it didn't maybe move as much as it could have at 650 or 600?
I mean, I think it did like within the window of expectation. But I think it was probably on the slightly lower end of that window. You know, it doesn't help that people didn't feel a super sense of urgency to go out and get one of those. But I bet it's like in line with what the PS4 Pro did, but maybe not exactly what the PS4 Pro did.
Okay. Makes sense. And then, Jeff, new soundtrack added to Nintendo Music app, Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't remember the music from Arceus, and yet I'm certain it's probably good. The Pokemon games
right.
almost always have good music. Even Scarlet and Violet, a game I kind of detest had great music.
Yeah, I am. I'm someone who hasn't played a ton of Pokemon games, and yet that's some good music across the board. So I'm with you. This is probably some good music as well. I don't think it's going to be, oh, that's the one with a disappointing soundtrack. It's like they probably came with it there as well.
Maybe not like, if you ask me to start listing the soundtracks that I think need to be added to Nintendo music, may have taken a while for me to get to this one.
Oh, sure, yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing, to the soundtracks they're releasing. It's complete chaos.
Right, and it's still, one a week. It's steady, at least, but still it's one a week, and it's been feeling kind of slow there, but oh well. All right, Jeff, I see we do have a bunch of super chats. Why don't we take a quick break, and then we can read all of those?
Yeah, just real quick, I kind of did. Sure. I did ask about the Herman Holst thing, and it's like, the way it's being told to me is that it's not really that much of a change after all, and that the Variety story doesn't word it very well. He's still running first party studios. Nishino-san is running the platform, so hardware and third party. And it seems like maybe that this is not confirmed, but this is, people speculating inside, that this is really just about letting Todoki like unhook himself from PlayStation to get back on the path to becoming CEO of the CEO of Sony entirely. Something that he was originally on the path to do before he had to kind of come in and clean up some stuff for PlayStation. So it might, I think maybe reading into like this affecting Herman Holst might be overstated, and that this is actually them like cleaning some stuff up after cleaning up Jim Ryan's problems. So yeah, just we're throwing out there, and if people want to like run out there and make stories based on that, you can, but that, just a little extra information.
I like cleaning up Jim Ryan's mess. It's great. Awesome visual. Okay, good. Thank you for that context there. Jeff, why don't we take that little break here? We'll be right back.
All right, break.
Okay, I'm ready to go. You ready to do super chats, Jeff?
Yes. Let me just click this and do that.
My YouTube page just crashed. You think they're gonna? Is there a chance that they have like different? Because now they have different prices for like Japan and US. Maybe it's like cheaper in Japan. Right.
I'm sorry, I was overreading something. What are you saying?
The Switch 2 might be like can be like expensive in like the Americas and cheaper like
but the yen is so weak still that they
you're right.
So I don't think they would it would have to still be expensive. Like there's reasons it's going to be expensive everywhere. Pick a country, we could find a reason for it to be expensive. All right, I am now ready, Mike.
All right, let's just get to it.
All right.
All right, the dogs are back in town. Jeff, would you please read some super chats?
Yeah, let's see here. Let's start from Simon from Saskatchewan, who says, with Razzie noms out now, have you ever thought of doing an award show for the Blight Club games you've played? Jan can cater the event with 9 hot dogs per person. I think a Blight Club like Hall of Fame ceremony might be something we could do.
Yeah, because I really don't respect the Razzies at all.
Me neither.
I think the Razzies is even worse than the bad movies. It's trying to mock, right? So
yeah, I mean, I never paid too close attention to the Razzies, but from like a glance at it, it seems like out of the spirit of I don't know. It seems mean, maybe. I don't know. I really like that we get bad movies. They're fun.
Yeah, but they're also just like wrong, and the things they pick are random, and sometimes they pick, there's been historically good things like what Shelley Duvall and The Shining, stuff like that.
The soundtrack to Rocky IV, I think, got a Razzie.
Oh, incredible.
Just absolutely a travesty that you could even think of that, even at the time. Yeah.
Right, because it's, it's not the worst movies, it's the most popular worst movies kind of a thing. So, yeah, but sure, the idea of like some kind of Hall of Fame thing for the Razzies, or for the Blight Club would be great. Only if we get the Angry Video Game Nerd though to call in and present one of the awards.
Oh, absolutely!
Like he doesn't know where he is.
Just have one of his assistants wheel him in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay, back to Simon. Would it be possible to port Link Between Worlds? I was a shithead who was too cool to have a handheld between Game Boy and Switch. Got Miu Mini Plus to catch up. Yeah, they could figure that out. For one thing, there have been like DS games ported. We saw that happen with Castlevania. You could do something similar. Like you just put the 3DS screen to one side, have the other screen kind of over here to the right, and maybe just add another screen beneath that to sort of kind of fill out the whole thing, it would work fantastically well. Now, there are some 3D elements to like the depth, but it's not so needed that they couldn't figure some way around that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this is one of the games where, again, probably not necessary, but I do really like the 3D effects on this one. So,
Me
like,
too.
I think they will port it eventually, and there's probably going to be a part of me. It's like I would rather play this on my 3DS still.
Yep, totally. All right, the hat trick from Simon from Saskatchewan. Sorry, Mike, I was the one who asked AJ about music on here. Dan brings up you and rap all the time now. Can Alex have access to Dan's Shock Watch? He is the god of Blake Club. What he says goes, right? That's interesting. Like, if Alex demanded it, I think he could actually get access to it.
That's true. We can't go to him with this, though. Alex will kind of consider that unseemly.
Yes, exactly. I'm not going to request it. I am terrified of the god of Blake Club. So,
as we should be.
Yep. L. Grug says, to show respect to the artistic medium that is gaming, you shouldn't look up helpful stuff during Blight Club and give Dan your undivided attention. Very good point, L. Grug. What he's doing is art, and it must be respected. Absolutely. Wavy.
I'm sorry. I could.
No, please.
I probably shouldn't dive into it.
I mean, drives me crazy. So let's do it.
I could just never care if somebody was on their phone. Look at everyone. People like, well, people shouldn't be on their phones in a movie theater. Yes, of course.
It's distracting and rude. Of course, completely different thing.
If I'm sitting in a living room, people are watching a movie, and like you said, Jeff, usually I'm probably talking to those people.
Yeah,
we're usually not like really. We're watching a movie, but it's not some deep. I don't know. We're not at the play, right? We're not at the theater. I don't know. I would never say anything. I would never think anything of anyone who's on their phone.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just hanging out with people, and the priority is very clear to me. All right. Wavy Crockett, any idea of a possible Switch 1 direct date? No specifics.
I just for February, right?
Yep. I've just heard February. And that was very vague because I was trying to find out if there was a PlayStation State of Play, and the person I normally go to for that was like, I heard about a direct, though, and that was a very funny thing to hear. But yes, apparently February. Allie Miracle said, Mikey, we are of similar age. Brawl is not that bad. Allie Miracle, you're just never going to get him on board with this one.
Christian's on my side on this one, right, Christian?
Yes, because it's not horrible.
Of course,
it's not fun. It's not fun. Your video game has to be fun. That's my. I don't know. It's crazy, but I think that video games should be fun.
It just gets so lapped by the game before it and the games after it. Like, if you want to be a subspace emissary stan, I get it, because we never got anything like that again. I get that, but there's just zero reason to ever play Brawl multiplayer with the tripping and the bad physics of it. So you can call it floaty, you can call it what you want. No. No. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a Brawl hater, and if that damages my reputation, it's okay. I'd rather be right and hated than wrong and loved, Jeff.
You're on the right side of history, Mike. Remember that.
Yeah, they didn't have to mod Melee to make it presentable like all the fans did. They had to mod a Wii game. Do you realize how insane that was? Everyone modded a Wii game just so they could stomach playing it. And these were the people who played it for more than 2 weeks, like all of you all did. You played Subspace Emissary, then you played CPUs set on level 4 3 times, and now you come here and tell me how great it is. Go to hell!
Big Fresh 37 says, bring back game tapes, the giant bomb. Yeah, that's a good thought. This is something that we're gonna have a chance to kind of fit some other stuff into the schedule here pretty soon. We're just like, we had our big all hands meeting today, and we have some other stuff, like there's a studio kind of getting built out in SF and things like that. There are things happening that, like, once those things are settled, we'll be able to do more stuff like that. And game tapes and, of course, Demo Derby could become much more regular. Could be, no promises, but I would love that. I love both those things. So, yes. Chris Pratt says, $600 Switch 2 with these tariffs? Someone ought to stop this orange tupa.
Oh,
Chris. Hey, Chris.
Who did you vote for?
Hey, Chris, who did you vote for? Oh, boy. You having some regrets, Chris?
It's a complicated man, okay? Has many sides.
Hey, Chris. Oh boy. Sultan of Abasi says, "Do you guys like carrot cake?"
Yes.
I do.
It's fine. I've never had carrot cake. Look, I don't even like cake that much, right? But every time I've had carrot cake, I'm like, it'd be better if it was just cake.
I like carrot cake a lot.
About the comedian.
No,
that's Carrot Top.
Chairman of the board. I did rent that from Blockbuster once as a kid.
Oh, did you deface the cover to make it BORED?
No, that would have been funny though. Chris Pratt in the comments, by the way, saying no comments. You're right, Chris Pratt. That's fine.
The Uncharted Wolf says, "Did Nintendo put a muzzle on their third-party devs and prevented them from saying their games are coming to Switch 2 ports? Gonna be a long 2 months." I don't know. Wolf's getting at an interesting point. Switch 2 is announced. It's a thing. Where are all the third parties going? You know what's happening? I just realized it. They're all trying to get into the Direct. They're all trying to get their game into the Direct, because that's the thing we always say is, hey, if you have a game coming to PlayStation or Xbox, you could just go tell people. That's fine. You can those gamers will find you. If you want to sell your game to Nintendo gamers, you got to be in a Direct. That really does make a huge difference. So they're probably seeing if they could still make that happen. I bet there's not a lot of space for that, but there's probably a lot of games that would love to have that.
Makes sense.
Big Fresh 37's back, says, branching off Destiny discussion. Always weird Halo Infinite never put in armor from Fallout, Gears, StarCraft, Doom. Xbox owns a lot of armored guys.
Right. And like there, it's, Halo multiplayer has always been somewhat separated, that it wouldn't, it would bother me less. I would still maybe, think it's a little pathetic, sounds so harsh, but you know what I mean. But whatever, especially when Halo Infinite maybe really needed it.
Yeah, that's and I think also there's always the chance that the tools just didn't make it easy enough for them to even consider that, because those tools were a problem. That was one of the reasons not enough content came out in general. So they were just trying to catch up before they could start thinking about, okay, now what's all the fun stuff we can add into here. So yeah, I think it just made it easier to be like, let's just keep Halo separate and sacred. All right, question mark 1910 says, is it more debased for Destiny to be at the point of having Star Wars skins, or for Star Wars to be at the point of collaborating with Destiny?
Oh, Star Wars can't be debased any further at this point.
It was originally the first thing George Lucas said was give me the merchandising rights. That's what I need here, because I'm going to sell the shit out of this thing. So this has been in Star Wars' DNA from the beginning. So no, Mike's right. It is as debased as it ever could be. All right, let's see here. Highly intelligent. That's right. Very good name. Above $400, and you're getting dangerously close to the Steam Deck. I mean, you're getting dangerously close to a PS5, right? Nintendo has much more competition in the handheld space now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much they're thinking about the handhelds. I think you're right with PS5, right? Maybe they think about that much. I don't know how much everyone at Nintendo is like, well, we got to be careful about our price being too close to the ROG Ally.
Yes, you're right, because they know that is, while it might become a bigger and bigger segment, it is a different set of gamers going after that thing. All right, let's see here. Mikey O'Leary says, off to bed early since I need to wake up at 2:30 a.m. for a mad early flight, because I'm running the Disneyland 5K on Friday. Enjoy your gaming.
Fun.
Enjoy your gaming.
Thank you.
Is that one where people normally cosplay? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Thank you, just because I heard The Rock say it. He said it to me all of a sudden. That's just gosh, that's gonna be fun. The princess one is where people dress up a lot.
Okay.
I think some people still dress up for any and all of them. Yeah, but yeah, I hope that's a lot of fun.
Okay, sorry.
Got to get Dan to do one of those one time with all of his running.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. I think he said he would do that. So yeah, that'd be fun.
If I do it, and I am not in close to running shape right now.
Yeah, but you just after Disney shape, right? You just continue that process, and then you get on the other side of there, and then we plan it for next year. All right, let's see here. Question mark 1910 is back. Do you know if the supply chain for Canadian electronics runs through the U.S.? I'm curious if a 100% tariff on TSMC would directly affect us too. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, it doesn't necessarily run through the U.S., but it would have an effect. We've gotten a similar question recently about if tariffs applied to products from Mexico would affect things in Canada, like game prices. And it just would, because The companies like see this like, okay, it's going up in North America. We're just going to raise our prices across the board, and it would cost. It would bring knock-on effects because just other things would be affected, and so yeah, the price would just necessarily go up. But I bet that most of that stuff just gets flown directly into the company, and they are separate for the most part. Now, 100% tariff on TSMC just doesn't make any fucking sense. What is he talking about? Why would you do this? It doesn't make the TSMC just, and they're like the one company in the world that can do what it does, but they're printing chips designed by companies in the United States. Like this is such a dumb thing. I'm sorry, I just get so frustrated. And you don't want like TSMC to begin like looking around for other partners to work with, because it is strategically so important. I mean, we're seeing like that what like happens when you disrupt the AI space with just like one open source alternative. It is destroying NVIDIA's value. But these are the chips that will go into future military weapons. Not right now. Those are the chips that go into military weapons right now are older chips. But eventually TSMC will be powering the smart missiles of the future. This is a defense contract issue. And so I just don't get what he's doing. Of course, I don't get it. He's a fucking moron. Cody Bishop says, Oregon Trail on GB, and then a honky horn car. I want to do this.
Yeah. We know we got like we have more ideas and slots on the internet at the moment, right?
Yes, yeah. But again, we're gonna find a way to like loosen up some of that time here pretty soon. So hold on to your horses. The Uncharted Wolf says, Brawl sold better than Melee. You lose, Mike. Fucking get his ass. Get his ass.
Oh, yeah, get me. Yeah, there was like 10 times as many Wiis in the world. Also, yes, the number one qualifier for if a game is good, how much it's sold. The best video game of all time is Minecraft. Oh, you'll like this, Jeff. Mr. Get His Ass. The 6th best video game of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2. You stupid piece of shit.
Moving on. Fogads says, Jeff, repeat after me. You are not a gambling influencer. That being said, I need a Super Bowl parlay. Daddy needs Switch 2 money. Yeah, good luck. I'm not a gambling influencer. Yeah. In fact, I'm like mostly done because like I said before, I was riding the Lions just because I wanted to run that into the ground. I'm done. Spikey says, is the next Mario Kart a cannonball run penis?
Wait, I just saw the faces you were making while I was yelling because I wanted to delay. How dare you? How dare you? Oh my God.
I'm sorry. We're having a very serious conversation. You're right. I should have taken it much more serious. Get his ass.
I've never seen Cannonball Run. Is it like that movie, The Rat Race?
I think so. I've never seen it either, I don't think. I've seen Smokey and the Bandit. And both of them have that guy with the mustache, right? Not Tom Selleck.
Burt Reynolds?
Burt Reynolds, yes.
Burt Reynolds.
I'm sorry. In my head, he's not Tom Selleck.
You're right. I probably do get those two. I probably have combined them into one person.
I combined them into one person, yeah.
Usually named Burt Reynolds, I think.
Yeah, I lean Tom Selleck. I'm a Tom Selleck guy.
Yeah, of course. A Tom Selleck truther.
Tom Selleck truther. Yeah, I think it's like a rat race, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, that's great. I think that's it for the super chats for now, right?
It is indeed. Back to you.
If you have any more super chats, everybody, you can see just how entertaining they can be. You can send them in. We will read them before the end of the show. What we're going to do right now, though, is take another break. We're going to get set up here, start working on a project we talked about for a bit. We are going to start the process of figuring out the 100 best Nintendo Switch games. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Where's the Nintendo Direct, Chef? It's been February for 12 hours already in Japan.
That's just not true.
That's also not true.
That's just not accurate. Now I know I'm not good at how many days are in a month, but there are definitely not 28 days in January.
What do you think it is, Christian?
I thought it was February. Dog, I'm cooked. My brain is completely cooked.
Yeah, you're done, bud.
Oh my God.
You're done,
Can
son.
you get a spreadsheet?
That's what I'm doing right now.
This?
Yep, getting it set up. Just a second.
For this
I
first
thought we
one,
were going into March, and then I changed the name from March to February. What the fuck?
All right. Well,
This one, we'll just kind of start naming some games that we think should be considered and see how long that takes and how much we can get through here.
okay. Yep.
I'll be right back to take the dog.
Yep. No problem. You do your thing. So it'll take me a second to get this set up.
You having a panic attack? I'm about to jump out the building. I'm fucking and destroy. My brain is cooked. I need to stop waking up like 6 a.m. and that shit.
Yeah, you should just stop most of the things that you're doing. It seems like it's hurting you.
Just fucking quit and.
Oh, let me check this real quick.
Sleep all day, brother.
Hang on.
Yeah, I'll take a lap on fucking hell. That's what I need to do. Exit this existence. What did I? Oh, you know what is going on? I'm just thinking Monster Hunter all the time. My brain, and that comes out February 28th. So my brain is like fucking. Oh shit. I'm just there all the time.
Sorry, just trying to deal with some work stuff. Okay. All right, that's good. Let me get this into that.
Oh, the most common thing people say on Letterboxd about the Cannonball Run is that it aged pretty poorly.
I'm not too surprised.
And I want to watch it.
I bet there are some fun racial stereotypes in a movie like that.
Already the thing has some weird stuff on it, the poster. So
yeah, I bet there's like a 60% chance that a white man plays an Asian man. I'm gonna say like 60% chance that is in that movie. Okay, let's see here. There's Mike. There's that. Let's get this.
Let's just scraping through the trailer.
Okay.
Roger Moore as Roger Moore. All right.
Okay. Sure. Let me freeze that.
Jackie Chan is on this movie?
When's that? Jackie Chan's been around for 100 years. I always forget.
1981.
I always celebrate 100 years with Jackie Chan every year. Okay. Messy list. Okay, so we're on break. If people are just joining us right now, when we come back, we are going to be doing the top 100 Nintendo Switch games. Mike says we're going to start that process. I'm going to ask him what that process even looks like. This is his idea.
I'm so cool.
But we will add probably a bunch of games to the list and work from there. Okay, let's see here. Yes, name 100 things, or name 4 things that aren't Jackie Chan. Toothpaste. Dogs, Jackie Chan. Shit!
You're fucked up.
Yeah, I messed up again.
That guy, the Chinese guy from Rush Hour. Shit.
Okay, there's that. Let me just do this. Okay, cool. I am ready, and Mike's back. Oh, he's got his Switch. That's like a really good idea.
Oh. I was about to ask, is Jackie Chan from China or Hong Kong? And that's just a political problem for me.
Dan's in chat freaking out because he's realizing now that under his logic, he can't consider Donkey Kong Country Returns a mainline Donkey Kong game anymore. Because the series went 3D and went 2D.
Oh, sure.
These are rules you are putting yourself. That this is how.
Yeah.
You can be free, brother.
Yeah.
You can choose.
In fact, you've like set yourself free before, where like you were like, you like were at the store. You're like, why do I do this? This is weird. Well, maybe I shouldn't feel this way. And the next day you forgot that and started doing it.
Dan,
again.
Are you saying that games can go 3D to 2D? Because that was your whole basis for a lot of Mario games not being mainline. There's no way that Donkey Kong Country Returns is a mainline Donkey Kong game if Mario Wonder isn't a mainline Mario game. Oh, God, he's here.
Let's talk about it. Okay. I didn't say anything about thinking one couldn't be because of something. I just realized I've never thought about mainline Donkey Kong, and I want to hear what you think the mainline Donkey Kong is.
Okay, like Donkey Kong
Christian,
or Donkey Kong
tack this to the end of the episode.
because it's different.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong? Then the mainline games are Donkey Kong Junior, Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country
Not math.
3,
Uh-huh.
64.
Yep.
Returns Tropical Freeze. I don't like as much as I love 94. I don't know if that's a mainline Donkey Kong game.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to find out if we just totally agree on this, and you just 100% read my list.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
different
that's
about
not
it.
Mike's issue.
What?
Well, my issue is how come in this one the series could go from 3D to 2D, but Mario can't?
Look, I don't make the rules, Mike.
All right.
You're right. You're right. Okay, I'll let you do your podcast. I'm glad to hear that I'm right and we all agree. Bye.
Yeah. I might have to think about 94 some more, though. That one, baby, it's a little weirder.
Yeah, it's a little weird. He's busy. He's got to go cut himself some more, trying to cook dinner. All right.
By accident, people, not for real.
Yeah. Not because
YouTube, please.
Not because he's trying to feel something. YouTube, chill out, dude. Okay, I am ready, Mike. I think we should bring it back in.
All right, let's do it. All right, we're back. Jeff, we're going to finally start this project here. We are going to make a list of the 100 best Switch games ever. This will probably take a few episodes because first we have to come up with a bunch of games. We have to whittle it down to 100. Then we got to order it. So the process here today is just let's start getting some games on this list potentially.
Yeah. Can I throw out a recommendation?
Okay.
Should we just start with first-party games? Just get those out of the way.
Sure, we can make today like a first-party game day.
Yeah, let's see how far we get. If that takes up a good chunk of time, then maybe after that, if it doesn't take that long, we could throw out some ones that are obvious beyond that. But let's just get the first party out of the way, and then we can discuss maybe the ones that are a little bit, maybe a bit more questionable.
All right, I like it. We can kind of switch. Me and you here. You can start if you want.
Yeah, I'll go with The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Wild, interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, do we want to talk about these games right now? We should
probably talk about the games a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
Right now.
I mean, it's obvious why Breath of the Wild is on there, but I mean, it is. I think the easiest way to give it its bona fides is to point out how influential that game already is. Already one of the most influential games ever made. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to feel the same way about it. But all of the games from your favorite developers, those games are made by people who have played and loved Breath of the Wild and respect and understand what that game did. And they are influenced by it when they're making their games. I promise you, it's just across the board. So that influence just can't be understated or overstated. Excuse me.
Yeah, I said this recently about the game. I think it kind of helped canonize Nintendo for a bit.
I think I have a really good point.
Yeah, right. Where Nintendo was something that kind of was up and down. Then you had Breath of the Wild come out, and suddenly a series that was always popular, Zelda, more than ever, just feels like one of the video game series ever. And it always was that, of course. But look at the sales of Skyward Sword, and then look at the sales of Breath of the Wild. It really is incredible, the leap there. And it kind of seems like maybe the series isn't going to ever look back in terms of some of these big releases. So yeah, we could do Breath of the Wild for sure. I guess I could just right now say Tears of the Kingdom also, right?
I think this is a good way of doing it. Let's just really just put it up there. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and then
the Tears of the Kingdom, which you could debate which one do you like more. I probably do like Tears of the Kingdom a little bit more. Breath of the Wild, definitely the more popular one, definitely the one people are going to be talking about more and more as we get into the future here. I think there is going to be a little bit of that Majora's Mask-ness with Tears of the Kingdom when we get kind of 10 years, 15 years down the road, right? There's going to be people who really do kind of hold this game in incredibly high regard. I bet at some point we're going to hear a lot of people say that this is their favorite Zelda game.
Super Mario Odyssey.
What? What's that? Yeah, Super Mario. Probably still actually, I don't want to talk about placements here, but these are some games that are going to be pretty high up. Probably still my number one at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a smart realization of what Mario can be in 3D. And then it has the real benefit of the Odyssey idea, setting it free and saying, let's just make some weird worlds and let Mario go explore those. And so maybe the most wacky of the 3D games while also just nailing the fundamentals. One thing you always pointed out at the time was you would just have so much fun running and jumping and wall kicking and then doing your double jump and throwing the hat that you just couldn't help yourself but explore. And then you would get somewhere that you're not supposed to be, and then there would be coins waiting for you because they knew you would go up there because they did it themselves when they were making the game. And it's like, it is that kind of joyful experience where you and the developers are having a fun time with one another. They're setting this fun little world for you, and they know how you're going to explore it. And that's just so well done.
I can't get enough of it. I almost just replayed it again recently. I talked myself into finishing Echoes of Wisdom instead.
I think I'm on third or fourth playthrough. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right. I can't get enough of it. It just feels so good. We were talking on the Bombcast today about Super Mario Land 2 and how neat that game is because the worlds are so interesting and weird. And there's like a little bit here of still like, oh, here's the water world and the snow world. But most of them are very interesting. Like, the big city world, the medieval dragon world, the weird kind of wooded world with the abandoned robots with the beach surfer music, right? So much of it feels incredibly unique. I just think it's the most creative Mario game, maybe one of those creative games ever.
Yep, agreed.
Yep. Then I'll go, again, kind of piggybacking off yours here, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Which, man, we played this recently because of Bowser's Hurry, the race that we did. And so the Bowser's Fury part is awesome. And it's funny because we've had these so-and-so re-release plus Bowser's Minions, right, for Mario and Luigi when they remade that. Oh, it was always like, okay, whatever. And then they did this. It's like, oh, this is awesome. This is like the most open world Mario game we've ever had. And it feels so good. And there's these really weird, interesting mechanics here with the giant Bowser. And it is the perfect length for something like this where it is kind of, it's not bite-sized, right? It's like when you go to the Halloween house and you're expecting just one thing of candy, but you get the king-size bar. Right? It's not a meal. It's not a meal. But man, pretty bigger than I was expecting. But then 3D World was a game that on the Wii U, I didn't think much of it on there. And then this version, they just sped it up a little bit. They added a couple of extra moves in there. And all of a sudden, that's like one of my favorite Mario games now. It feels fantastic.
Yeah, the speeding up really did make a huge difference, especially playing alone. I loved it on the Wii U, but I also played a lot of it with my wife. And that the speed on there when you're playing multiplayer worked really well. But that game had a really solid foundation, and speeding up so you can feel even more dynamic was the right call. And then you're right, Bowser's Fury is just so awesome. It's kind of I don't think there's anything really negative to say about it, because I think the one thing you would say negative at the time is like it's just this little side experience. But really, no, it's a full Mario game. When you look at the breadth of like what Mario has been in the past, there have been Mario games that you could easily beat in 3 to 5 hours, and now there's a 3D one of those. And it plays awesome. It has its own structure, its own feel, its own style, its own like way of defeating Bowser. It's a full game, and it's just awesome that it gets to exist, and they found a way to make it make sense. It would have been a travesty if that was something that they made and then like just left on the shelf because they're like, well, we can't sell this as it is. We're going to have to figure out another thing to do. It's like, right. Oh man, we are so lucky that they attached this to this game and gave us a chance to play it.
All right, to you.
Yep. Hang on. Let me see here. Let me just fix this camera one more time. Okay, let's see here. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Oh, you went to that one. There we go.
Yeah.
That was a good Smash Brothers game.
Yeah. I mean, the big problem here is it doesn't have tripping. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's no way we're gonna have 100 games and not have Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I think this is a really, it's in the name for a lot of people. It's like, hey, this is a Smash Brothers now. At least the canonical Smash Brothers outside of Melee being now 25 years old. So people are like, oh, we got another one that we really feel good about for a long term, and people are going to be playing this game forever. So I think it is the new canonical entry in the Smash Brothers series.
It's so good that everybody's kind of like, oh, what are they going to do next? We don't know, right? Hey. Some people are kind of working themselves into a shoot. Like, maybe there just won't ever be another one. We don't know.
I know, but like you say that, and like, at the same, I think most people are like not feeling urgent about getting another one. Like, we get questions all the time. No one really ever sends in a super chat being like, when do you think we're going to get the next Smash Brothers? Everyone's just busy playing Ultimate still.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. I mean, the roster is just so freaking good. It's so huge. They had a lot of fun with the guest characters. They got a lot of really weird ones. Like Banjo Kazooie, freaking Sora from Kingdom Hearts got in there somehow. There was some special magic happening with Ultimate for sure. To kind of mirror you again, I guess I'll say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yep.
Which hilariously again was just like the deluxe version of a Wii U game. It becomes like one of the best-selling Nintendo games ever. It might be the best one aside from Wii Sports and other pack-in kind of things like that. Just wild. It's the same thing where this is such a definitive Mario Kart experience that's why we look at that new Mario Kart and we're like, okay, we think they're doing something different here because of course they are. Because you can't really do too much to improve that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe formula. And a lot of great tracks on there. And then they did that late DLC tour. That was awesome because we got a bunch of new great tracks, like the Yoshi's Island one. Oh, God, that was so much fun. Yeah, love it.
All right. Metroid Dread.
Oh, yeah.
God, to make... So it was Metroid 5. Is that what they called it?
Metroid 5, yeah.
Yeah. Or was it Metroid 4? Because it's 1... 2, 3, 5, right?
Metroid 2, Super Metroid,
Fusion.
Metroid Fusion, and Dread.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so yeah, it really kind of living up to that. First of all, it was so nice to play. It feels so good. One of the better feeling 2D games of all time. And then to kind of bring the entire Metroid franchise like to this culmination that really worked, and to give the Samus character such an awesome not send off, but like reaching her zenith. Yeah, so awesome moment, reaching her zenith, and then doing that while also staying true to the vibes and atmosphere over explicit storytelling, something that not every Metroid game has successfully avoided. This one's like, here's one line for Samus, and it's gonna sound badass, so she can talk if she wants to. She just chooses not to the entire game because she doesn't need to. She's just kicking ass the whole time and being cool. And then when it's time to scream and turn into an awesome character at the end, she'll do that. It's just so well done. One of the games that I always want to be playing. I'm always thinking about replaying Metroid Dread.
Yeah, the characterization of Samus in it is incredible. I love the environments here look cool. It's like that sort of creepy abandoned space station look. It's a little Alien again, and there's so much influence in Alien in the series before, so I love having more of that aspect of it here. We had a little bit of it in Fusion. Really good boss fights in the game too. Yeah, we love Metroidvanias, and this is just such a good feeling Metroidvania with the sliding and that kind of like spark dashing thing you can do and the parrying. Just an incredible moveset. Once again, I like mirroring you so much. I'm going to keep this up. Metroid Prime 1 Remastered, the most kind of like underselling title ever, calling this remastered in my opinion, because there is so much done to one of the best games of all time already. They really did bump up the visuals. It looks great. And just the way that it runs on the Switch, so many different control options there. And a lot of them are fun, and a lot of them kind of feel more like the original. But, having the dual stick controls does feel really good in this game. But yeah, just one of my favorite games ever. And now the definitive version of it to play is on my Switch, and I can kind of pick it up whatever. Another game, Jeff, I'm sort of talking myself out of just playing again all the time.
All the time, yeah. And asked in chat, the scanning is still good. Yes, absolutely. Yep. That's a game where it's like, oh man, this is now the definitive version of that game on the Switch. That's where I'll play it from now on. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Very nice. Kind of earlier, and it was at a time where they were just really good. Like every quarter, it felt like there was a big game, and Fire Emblem had been on an upward trajectory for a while there, and it kind of culminated in this moment for the series.
Yeah, and I think it's, I think Fire Emblem Awakening is still my favorite, but it was also like really, truthfully, my first one as well. And I think Three Houses is the best one since then, where like it found its own voice, its own style, its own way of doing things, really emphasizing the way the character relationships worked without having to over-rely on waifus, which is, I think, something that the series wants to do sometimes, but tries to stop itself from doing. And this is one where it's like they really figured that out. And obviously you do have a waifu in that game, but like I think it's like all the relationships in that game were so well done. And then it's just a really solid tactics game. I think Fire Emblem Engage, I like the tactics in that even a little bit more, but that's just, Fire Emblem across the board, always really good. And that was a really fantastic one, Three Houses.
Yeah. And it was so neat how you did have these 3 different scenarios, right? And there's similar in a lot of ways, but they also are different in a ton of ways. Just a really neat system.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and just, having the characters have kids that come back to the past and like your choices mattering on that. Very interesting.
Speaking of series that maybe had a zenith on the console, Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi's Mansion 1 was like sort of neat as a launch game, but a lot of people almost resented it more than anything because it wasn't just the new Mario game. Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS was neat. It was fun. It was fine. A little bit limited. And Luigi's Mansion 3 was just awesome. We joke all the time about how Luigi Mansion 3 probably sold better than your favorite video game, right?
Almost certainly did.
It just had this amazing glow up and that whole hotel structure. I loved, each floor is kind of the level and there's different thematic elements there, but sometimes the floors kind of weave in and out of each other in these interesting ways. The whole Luigi's Mansion gameplay mechanics of kind of solving these miniature puzzles to figure out how to get ghosts tucked in with that ghost capturing mechanic. Again, very good boss fights. You're in like that natural history museum wing at one point. And you fight that dinosaur. I freaking love that. Gooigi. Need I say more?
Yeah, I mean, and just like a game that really stands out because of its animation, but it's got a lot of other good tech where, like, you start breaking things apart and it just breaks in a really satisfying way where, it's that hyper realism that you get when you're going for a cartoon style, and yet it just felt like it made sense in terms of physics. And I just always was like, man, this is such a satisfying game to play because of all the systems they're messing around with. I think kind of in the same realm of like really high quality side Nintendo franchises that really popped off on the Switch, Pikmin 4. This is it's the best Pikmin game. It really is. It is. It was my game of the year that year. I think it's one of the most playable games Nintendo has made on the Switch, where it's like, if you can just get it started and get going with that game, get past like the very early 30-minute tutorial, it's actually going to be a very hard game to put down. They really nailed the loop, something that Pikmin has always had a pretty decent loop, but really they just got rid of all the cruft and just made it so you would accomplish a goal, and in accomplishing that goal, you would see a new goal that you would want to accomplish, and you would come up with a plan and be like, tomorrow, the next in-game day, I'm going to go do this and that so I can get that thing. And it was just every time you would do that, it would tumble into the next one forever until you beat the game in a couple of sittings because they just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, I famously kind of always had, famously, I don't think.
Infamously, yes.
Infamous. I had a hard time getting into this series. Then 4 was just so easy to really fall in love with. Like you said, once I kind of got into it, had a hard time putting it down. That whole kind of game within a game thing you have there with Olimar is so fantastic. The Dandori battles are actually a lot of fun. Absolutely one of the best games on the system. You remember how excited I was when they finally announced this game. I've wanted a 3D Kirby game for so long, and we finally got Kirby in the Forgotten Land, which really was just this perfect translation of Kirby into 3D. But they also made it interesting with the whole weird, he's in this like near automata world, right? Like, what's happened here? What's like, are there all these moss covered cars? And Kirby just, doing things like sucking up an entire car. Now he is just a car. Kirby, really fun sort of ramping up where, just beating the base game, not too difficult like you expect from a Kirby game, but then there is some extra post-game stuff that can be a really fun challenge. So glad that we finally got the 3D Kirby game, and they actually did a great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones that I have now played so much because of the kids. So I have a real fondness for it, a real soft spot in my heart for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Just one of those, oh man, that may be a perfect first video game, which was what Kirby was always supposed to be. And now they've translated that to a 3D game. And without like making it feel so simple, like what they do with the Yoshi games, right? Or what they've done with a lot of Kirby games in the past. This is one. No, this is a real video game with a lot of like depth if you want to explore it. But it's just going to be a solid, good, fun time. And like the upgrade system for the all the power-ups you can get, make it so like eventually just every single thing that you find turns you into this Super Saiyan version of Kirby, and yet they all have their own characteristics. It's just so well done. Really, really love Forgotten Land. All right, I said Pikmin 4. Oh yeah, the next one I went Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Just all the Mario games kind of on Switch have been really good. I love Wonder. For me, like 2D Mario is one of my sort of like just the games that like my autobiography of games would be, hey, starts with Super Mario Brothers, and I think Super Mario Brothers Wonder is such a good continuation of that. I also think this is one of the best feeling 2D games of all time. Best running around in like a game on the system, where it's just like you pop that jump button and Mario is going to pop on the screen in the same way you really want him to, and it just feels so nice, so like instantaneously gratifying. And then it's got all of the great animation quirks that really kind of make this game feel so distinct from the new Super Mario Brothers games and feel like Nintendo actually gave it some love. So yeah, just adore Wonder.
Yeah, we were begging for a while to make a new 2D Mario game that wasn't a new Super Mario Brothers, right? And this definitely was that. It had a really neat look to it. I loved the Wonder mechanics. I love that you get to play as so many different characters, especially Daisy.
The online mode is really good, right? Like, like just really playing with randoms, like Journey style, or then like teaming up with friends, and then just deciding, hey, let's race, and just being able to do that in an instant. Like, just such a good way to make a Mario game, and I hope they make more. I would really dig more.
I'm sure that the Switch 2 will get its own 2D Mario game of some sort.
You're right.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. We had quite a few Pokemon games on the Switch. I think some ups and downs, maybe more downs, but Legends Arceus was actually a ton of fun. I think the open world stuff works really well there. I love that it's still ultimately a Pokemon game. You throw out your Pokemon, you get into Pokemon battles. But I also do love that the capturing feels different. It is kind of more just about sneaking and exploring and traversing. I think, it's not the prettiest game in the world, but the artwork does some to help with that. And yeah, just mechanically, it felt really good. I thought it was a twist that the series desperately needed.
I had a lot of fun playing that game. I mostly played it on that one marathon stream that we did. But like 12 hours straight of it, I was like, I really like this. And then eventually, I needed a break after that. Tried to go back. I was like so lost about how to play after a couple months. But I still always would like to go back and continue to play that game. I hope the new Legends is a lot more of the same, even though we're not sure yet. But hey, we have Arceus, so like I said, I could always go back to that. Okay, I'm gonna go with Splatoon 2.
Okay.
I think of the Splatoon games on Switch, we of course could consider both, but I don't think both are going to make the top 100, but we'll see. I think I would go with Splatoon 2. It is also more Splatoon, but really kind of solidified the online multiplayer in a way that felt nice and I don't know, just more confident. More of the same was also not a bad thing after Splatoon 1 on Wii U. Getting more people the chance to play it was fantastic. And I think, like all the Splatoon games, secretly a really good single-player campaign.
Maybe we should just put 2 in, because we can consider both of them. 100's a lot of games, right? So who knows?
So 2 and 3? Okay.
Yeah, put 2 and 3 on there.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Yep, fair enough.
But Splatoon's 2 especially, right? We always talk about Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey being so strong that first year, but Splatoon 2 was also a very big part of that.
Yeah.
Amazing first year. Animal Crossing New Horizons, right?
Yep,
Maybe aside
definitely.
from Mario Kart, the MVP of the Switch 1 library, right? Big, giant hit, helped a bit by the pandemic, and just sort of, because, I was thinking about this, Jeff, where it seems like there's so many franchises that, they have one game come out and then maybe get a sequel like 10 years later, and then it doesn't do well, and then it's abandoned forever. It took Animal Crossing a long time to get to this point. They didn't even release the first one on the N64 here. We got the GameCube port of it, and they always kind of, they sold fine, and they sold better and better, and then all of a sudden you have a phenomenon on your hands with New Horizons.
Yep. Yeah, it's as someone I played a lot of Animal Crossings now at this point. I played the GameCube one, which was the N64 one from Japan. I played the DS one. I played. God, I feel I played some of the Wii one, and then I played this.
New Leaf?
New Leaf was the DS one, right? Yes. And I really, really love New Leaf. That was the one that really nails it. And there are some things missing from New Leaf in New Horizons, or that I wish were in New Horizons, but it still has most of the stuff that I adore and really does a very, very good job with like the museum and things like that. So, yeah, definitely easily consider Animal Crossing New Horizons for a top 100. It will definitely make that. I do think we're starting to get a slightly slimmer pickings at this point, Mike. I would probably, let's see here. I was going to go with, actually, I'm not sure. I think I might have lost mine. Let's see here. Oh, Paper Mario and the Origami King. I like that game. It might be like in the far deep into the lower 50.
Sure.
But I while
consider it,
its weaker spot is the combat that's a big knock against the game. Everything else about it's good. You don't want that
to be the weaker spot of your RPG, huh?
You really don't. But everything else was really good. I mean, I suppose like, hey, this was, one of the Paper Marios where here's a great Bob-omb character and he looks like all the other Bob-ombs. Why can't he have his own look and style? That's also a negative, but outside of those things, they got everything else right. Very good writing, very fun world to explore. Eventually, Hugh gets so powerful that you can just kind of jump on enemies and not have to do the combat. And so this is one that I played through, beat, and really enjoyed. So yeah, I want to have it considered.
Yeah, let's throw Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door on there.
Yep.
Also, though, I think maybe we never said like what games are being considered here. To me, it's basically any game, including ports, including remasters,
available on the Switch.
It's not including like NSO titles. And it's not including you can include collections, but you can't include individual games in a collection. So you could say Castlevania Dominus Collection. You wouldn't be able to say Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, for example.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, everything's fair game here.
Well, then we got plenty more then.
Yeah. Gosh, 1,000-Year Door ruled. Freaking. That's such a good. There's not too much done to have to remake it. But just the small things they did, very nice. I like the new soundtrack. I think the script changes were generally very good. The game holds up so freaking well. Have you still been playing it?
Yeah, I have been. Although the kids do keep taking the Switch consistently. So, yeah. But when I'm like picking up something to play right now, when I'm not like sitting down to play something on the computer, because there's a couple games right now I'm doing that with. It is 1,000-Year Door. I added Super Mario RPG just to like round that out. Yep.
Yeah, another good remake of a classic RPG.
Yep, absolutely. It's and that one's like a full blown remake. And while I still think there's value in going back to the Super Nintendo version, like that's not how like necessarily I feel about like the Metroid Prime remaster, which is almost a remake, basically a remake. Super Mario RPG is interesting as a remake and definitely one that people are curious about it. I would probably recommend this version to them.
Speaking of remakes, how about Link's Awakening?
Yes, that is a good call. All right.
Legend. Yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm playing through Echoes of Wisdom some more now. And I know like it's somewhat controversial. I still really like that cute diorama look of the games, right? That kind of Playmobil style or whatever. I think it's enchanting and charming. And Link's Awakening is just such a good game that doing a remake of it, unless you really mess something up, that's going to be a good time.
Yes, absolutely. All right, I'm going to put a Super Mario Maker 2 on there.
There you go. I was wondering when that would come up.
Yes, that's it loses the stylus, so inherently like a slightly diminished version of Super Mario Maker, but they really got everything else right still. I wish, of course, it would have had Super Mario Brothers 2 stuff and other Mario biomes, I suppose, added in there. But it was still like really great to like make levels for your friends and then have them make levels back at you and challenge you and go back and forth and trade that. That experience still worked 100%, and still like got between Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker 2, some of the most fun I've ever had with any games ever.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Oh yeah, good call.
That was actually a lot of fun,
yes,
especially early on, and there was a big novelty to it, right? But the tactics always felt very good in it. The Rabbids still do very little for me.
They gave Mario a gun.
They gave Mario a gun. It was a ray gun, but it's still kind of neat. But yeah, I don't know. It really was kind of XCOM with Mario, and they made that work pretty well. Do we consider Sparks of Hope? I did fall off that one hard.
Yeah, I haven't, and I've never played more than like 45 minutes of it.
Yeah, so maybe that one not so much.
Yeah, let's maybe not do that then. All right, let's see here. I don't know. Well, you know what? I'll do this one. I like it. I don't care. Mario Strikers Battle League.
That's what I was hoping you would.
Yeah.
Everyone gets so mad about this one.
Yeah,
I'm like, this game's pretty fun to play, everybody.
It is really fun. And really, all the Mario sports games on Switch are fun to play. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, well, then what are we talking about? We got a good game here then, folks. The content lacking, I guess. But the actual sort of fighting game mechanics that they put into this Mario Strikers they're really solid. It is a game where you can get really competitive. It is super arcadey, super fast paced. And if you play it more than you think about playing it while you're playing it, you're going to have a really good time. Cause you could just like, you go through a move, you could see how your friend's trying to counter you, try to predict that, use your weapon at the right exact moment, try to create a little space for yourself so you can get off a powerful shot. It is so hectic, so much fun. I had a really good time when we played in person a couple of times, for example. Just a really good game.
Mario Party Superstars. We had a few Mario Party games, and this one is still
the best
my favorite.
Yeah.
I just, I do think there's something about classic Mario Party that still ultimately works best for me, brother. The classic boards, things like that, just all those mini games. I liked the newest one also. This one just sings a little bit more for me. Yeah,
of the Mario parties, this is the one that I would definitely include. I don't know if we need to include the other ones. Do you want to just throw them up there, kind of like we did with Splatoon?
I don't know if we need to as much. You can maybe do the newest one. I wouldn't do the first Super Mario Party. Maybe Super Mario Party Jamboree if you want to.
Yeah, okay. It has that meat cutting game.
I love that meat cutting game.
Me too.
It's true.
That's a new instant classic. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so if it's just on there, we could just include it. And that, well, you know what? Can I ask you how you feel about ARMS?
I mean, we could definitely consider it. I like ARMS.
Yeah, I like ARMS. Yeah.
That's one where like it doesn't have that much content, but also the game is pretty fun.
Yes.
Right? Like, so I almost wish it was kind of like the game felt a little bit better or there was more content.
Oh, okay. Wait, actually, my real one here is Tetris.
Let's include ARMS. ARMS.
Okay. Tetris 99, though.
Okay, yeah.
That should definitely be on this list. That is one of the new sort of, we need this Tetris game forever. Like there's Tetris for the NES, the competitive players play. Tetris for Game Boy. Tetris DS is a great one. Tetris Battle Gaiden. Tetris 99 is absolutely one of those. There's a reason Bailey, who's obsessed with Tetris, always goes back to this. And when I think about, hey, I'm going to play a Tetris game, Tetris Connect, or whatever it's called, Tetris, the trans one, and then Tetris 99. Those are the two that come to mind first right now.
Now I'm like blanking on the name of that Tetris game is bothering me. Similar though, yeah.
It's not Tetrisphere, I can tell you that.
Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. F-Zero 99.
Yep.
Also, that feels so good to play. That was such a fun. If you ask me, like Nintendo properties, there should be battle royales. I don't know if F-Zero would have been my first pick, but boy, did that work really well. Man, and it's so long since we got an F-Zero game, so it's so nice having that.
Yep. I should just be playing that. And then I'll throw this up there. I'll be surprised if it makes the cut. It's Super Mario 35.
Sure.
Yeah, that was it was. I wish it still existed. Yeah. It was really dumb that it doesn't. But hey, for an ephemeral game, that was a really interesting one. And I think if we're gonna talk about racing in a 2D Mario game, I would take Wonder over 35. But I still really enjoy Super Mario 35. Wish the online played well.
Sure. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the Xenoblade Chronicles games. Three.
Yeah.
You did play through all three.
I played all three of them. Yeah, I beat them all. The 1 remake, 2, and 3. A lot of people like these games more than I do. 3 is the one that I did really enjoy, even though I still think it kind of goes on pretty long. We could throw the other ones on there and see if they hang. Again, it's 100 games, right? So who knows? But 3 was definitely my favorite of the bunch. Definitely the best characters and story. Really good music. Nice world to explore. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for sure.
Chef, can you move the list? Because
yes, yeah. Thank you. Yes. I'll say my next one, although I'm hesitant because we keep getting money from people reminding me about it, so maybe I should just keep holding off. Clubhouse Games 51 worldwide classics.
There you go.
This is, Clubhouse Games on DS was one of the best DS games. Clubhouse Games is, you know how Nintendo does food really well, where it's like, hey, man, that food was rendered really well. They did that to a bunch of board games, and where it's like, man, this is just so lovingly rendered. And then it's just a really fun, quick, easy way to play stuff like Yahtzee and backgammon and so many other ones. And it has a really great way to okay, go play against the computer, and we will teach you how to play backgammon once and for all. You've always wondered how to do it. Well, here it is, and now you're going to be able to take that and now hand the Switch to your loved one or your friend in the back seat on a road trip and just pass this thing back and forth for a couple of hours. And there's not a lot of experiences actually that do that very well. This is one of those.
It's funny. I don't know if I want to add any of the new generation Pokemon games, but the Let's Go games, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, even though I initially stuck my nose up at them, they're making them even more for babies. Those were actually really fun. There's definitely some nostalgia there because Gen 1 Pokemon was so important to me, but I actually liked them simplifying some of the capture mechanics a good bit. It was fun playing the Eevee version, having the Eevee follow me around, stuff like that. It was definitely of the traditional Pokemon games, Violet, Scarlet, Sword, Shield, the Pearl and Diamond remakes. The Let's Go games were definitely my favorite.
It's Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee, right? That's how it would refer to it.
Yeah, you can just call it one game, yeah.
Okay, very good. Just to get those. The super chats. Louis Garcia said Clubhouse, and Nintendogs said don't forget Clubhouse games. So
well, we didn't forget it.
There we go. We got it in there. All right, let's see here. I haven't played Astral Chain. I'm looking at a list now.
Yeah, I'm looking. Let me float some by you because there's some I'm thinking about here.
Yeah, please. Let's just do it that way now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too moved by Astral Chain personally.
Okay.
Advance Wars 1+2, I think I don't even like Advance Wars that much, and you weren't too moved by the remake effort here.
Yeah, it was uninspired.
How about any of the Bayonettas? Because
Bayonetta 2 is one of the best action games ever made, and it's on the Switch.
It's just on Switch.
Yeah, so let's put it on there.
Maybe, it's funny because, gosh, 3 reviewed so well, and I just no one ever seems to talk about it like they like it.
Yeah.
And Origins came and went pretty quickly there, huh?
I haven't played Origins. Yeah, I should at some point, but I have not.
Yeah, we can include 2.
Ring Fit Adventure is an interesting one. People keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on here. Let's
go for it.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it makes sense to include that.
Yes, me too.
For sure.
Labo, Game Builder Garage.
I never played. I think you were the one who played any of the Labos, and we could talk about that weird Mario Kart thing too. Or any of those kind of weird things worth putting on the list, you think?
I'll throw Labo on there. Snipper Clips. I like Snipper Clips, so I played it for an hour, on day one, with that thing, and that's it. So I'm not too ready to throw it on there. But Labo is so interesting that I really did have a good time building those things, so I'm gonna throw it on there.
What about either of the WarioWares? I like to get it together. I didn't really play much of Move It.
Let's consider WarioWare Get It Together.
I had fun with it.
I liked both, but they're just not the best WarioWare games.
No.
Get It Together. All right.
Get it together.
Nintendo Switch Sports. I think you're not a fan because it's Wii Sports.
But what do you think of it, right?
I think it's they did a good job of recapturing the magic of a lot of those games. And the online bowling mode alone, where it's everyone just go bowl at the same time. It'll go really fast. It actually is a good game to stream because of that. I think Nintendo Switch Sports deserves consideration.
What about your Nintendo World Championship?
Oh yeah, that definitely, absolutely. What is that? Nintendo World Championships NES edition?
NES edition, yeah.
Okay.
That's the name there.
Yep, okay. There we go.
That was fun. You loved Pikmin 3 Deluxe, right?
Yes, that is one of those ones that's just on there, and it's deluxe version. They really did make it a better game. The Pikmin 3 was good. Pikmin 3 Deluxe is let's just make all of this work better, and it does. That is a fantastic game as well.
How about either of these Donkey Kong Country ports, Tropical Freeze or Returns? I
think probably both. Let's consider both.
Probably both could be considered. I did beat Returns big, and I had fun. Tropical Freeze is good for sure.
Donkey
kind of in a
Country.
similar boat. You're the one who's played Captain Toad and remembers it so well. What about Captain Toad?
Yeah, I don't remember it. So I don't think
Bad sign?
Yeah, probably a bad sign.
Ooh, here's an interesting one. Cadence of Hyrule.
Oh yeah, okay, yes. What is the full name of that?
Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda.
Okay,
You could just call it Cadence of Hyrule.
I regret
Even
asking.
the subtitle freak, am like, just call it
appreciate
Cadence of
that.
Hyrule. It's fine.
Thank you for
It'll be
setting me
okay.
free.
Yeah. Gosh, sure. There's some games I see here. I'm like, oh god, there was a Detective Pikachu 2 and that new Pokemon Snap, right?
Yeah, you know what? I actually like Mario Tennis Aces as well, and
Sure.
even Mario Golf
You like Strikers?
Super Rush. Yeah, I put Strikers up there. Is it
You got
Super Rush?
Strikers on there. Mario Golf. God, what was it called? It had a weird subtitle. Mario Golf.
That's a chef move.
Super Rush. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it. Here's a weird one, actually published by Nintendo. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought that game was okay.
I thought it was okay. Maybe it doesn't make it.
Maybe it doesn't need to be on this list. It doesn't need to be on this list.
I think it was really neat that they made that happen. But
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool that
Yeah.
we got another one of those, and Nintendo published it.
yeah.
Let's see.
Remember Super Mario 3D All Stars? As much as I like those games, not really a great collection that they did there.
Right. Yeah. I don't feel the need to put that on the top 100 personally.
How do you
No.
how do you two feel about Pokemon Tournament? I think is
Meh.
the full name.
Pocket
No,
Tournament.
yeah.
I didn't like it much on the Wii U, and yeah, they brought it
Oh,
here.
that is a Wii U game.
Yeah,
Now
same
that
same
you
with
say it.
same with all the Muso games. None of them moved me particularly.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Same.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, the
The
Warriors.
first Hyrule Warriors was, if we are gonna do one, it would be that first Hyrule Warriors, the version of it that they did here. I don't know how people felt about the Fire Emblem one. It seemed like everybody was pretty on that Breath of the Wild sequel that they did of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely had its fans, but they are the ones that also read the Hyrule Historia, so I don't really trust them.
Oh yeah, so you don't respect them.
I don't.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, and there are some games here that are kind of like, oh, that was published by Nintendo. Maybe they'll come up more naturally when we talk
Yeah,
about some
Fitness
third-party
Boxing
games.
3, Your Personal Trainer, published by
Right.
Nintendo.
Yeah, but hey, look, if we didn't talk about first-party games, it's not like it's not making it on the list. This is still a process. At some point here, too, we didn't do a thread today, but once we kind of do a pass of this, we'll have an episode where we make sure and ask the community here, hey, did we forget something that you want us to consider? So don't worry if you're screaming about something and we're not including it. Right now, this is going to take some work.
Unless it's everybody's 1-2 switch, in which case, definitely worry about it.
Worry about that.
Worry about that
Ouch,
one.
Sweat bullets at the moment.
Yes. Yep.
But this is a good start, I think, Jeff. Do you want to maybe quickly read
Yes.
the games we've added here that we are considering for our top 100 Switch games list?
Yeah, I think the quick math, we have about like 47-ish. That's probably close to
Already?
right.
Wow.
Yes.
This is first party.
So we'll work our way backward here. Mario Golf Super Rush, Mario Tennis Aces, Cadence of Hyrule, Donkey Kong Countries, Tropical Freeze and Returns, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Nintendo World Championship, NES Edition, Nintendo Switch Sports, WarioWare, Get It Together, Nintendo Labo, Ring Fit Adventure, Bayonetta 2, Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, Xenoblades Chronicles 1, 2, and 3, Super Mario 35, F-Zero 99, Tetris 99, ARMS, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Party Superstars, Mario Strikers Battle League, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Super Mario Maker 2, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario The Origami King, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Splatoons 2 and 3, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Pikmin 4, Luigi's Mansion 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Metroid Prime Remaster, Metroid Dread, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, not Furry, Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Very nice start here.
Yep, that's a solid beginning. Not all of those are probably going to make it. A lot of them probably will.
Yeah, a lot of them will. We still have a lot of third-party and indie games that need to be added to this list too, though.
Yes, definitely. And who knows how we end up feeling? Like right now, I'm like, I could maybe even put Fire Emblem Engage on this list. But once we start filling in with other games, I'm sure like that will resolve itself pretty quickly.
Yeah, I bet we'll find out there maybe isn't room for Engage.
Exactly. So we'll see. Like Mike said, this is not definitive. Nothing is binding yet. Right. So we'll get to that point.
I know that there's some games like Octopath and like Live Alive that were technically published by Nintendo we didn't talk about here yet. We'll talk about those in the third party.
The ones that are like just published by Nintendo in like one territory. Always weird. We'll get to that eventually.
Well, all right, great. Why don't we take one more break here? We can talk about what we've been playing, look at the super chats, and get out of here.
Sounds good to me.
Break.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us while we did that.
RPG.
Low 1 and 2. Shoeman Foo. Harvest Moon. Donkey Kong Jr. Math. All right, everybody. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Patrick G. I see your Skeet. Best way to consume the Nintendo. You're just laying back, playing a game, and listening. That looks so cozy. That's a basement right there too. If you guys got your gaming set up in your basement, you just send me those pictures. They all make me happy. Yeah, it's a good way to treat a basement. Set it up for the gaming time.
There's no basements here. I don't know.
Yeah. There's parts of the United States that just do not have basements. California, no basements. I think it's because they're afraid of getting buried under rubble because it's all going to come down in the big one. But yeah, like Dan's house, like his whole basement just set up like for game stuff. Cool. One of the coolest places I've ever been. Just an awesome place to hang out. Really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. So, and I also like it when it's like, hey, this is clearly just someone's personal gaming space. Got their recliner. Like that's really what this is over here for me. I got my recliner, a big TV right in front of it.
Sorry, a human cave?
Yeah, a human cave. Exactly. Is Cruisin' Blast on the list? It is now.
That's not first party, Jeff. Calm down.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we'll make. I got one too. We can each have one when we come back from break. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Like we're just gonna add it off air.
Well, I mean, I was gonna tell people what we're gonna do. All right. You bring it back whenever you're ready.
All right, we're back, Jeff. You're very upset. Why are you crying?
Because we forgot Cruisin' Blast.
That's Nintendo publisher. Sure.
Nintendo. It's weird because apparently Nintendo owns this franchise, which I never put that together. But of course, they were always so involved with it. But it's just like one of their weird arcade franchises that they somehow kept close to the vest this entire time. Now they never make those games, but
Raw Thrills gets to do that now, right?
Exactly, yes. But Cruisin' Blast is now on the list. Can't believe we forgot it.
I have so much respect for Raw Thrills. I went to my childhood movie theater to see Wicked, and in the spot where Hydro Thunder machines had been for probably like 30 years, there's just some new thing from Raw Thrills that is just like their Hydro Thunder, right? It's the same exact thing. I don't know what it's called. I'm just like, hell yeah, let's go.
Raw Thrills is great.
Yes, like I said, respect is the word. I must have been looking at a newer list of first party games because Echoes of Wisdom wasn't on there, and it should certainly be considered.
Oh yes, yeah, duh. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
I know it's like probably not anybody's favorite Zelda game, and I get it, but come on.
Right? No, it could easily make the top 100. I think. Okay, yeah, apparently Raw Thrills did publish Cruisin' Blast, but Nintendo does own the Cruisin' franchise, right, so look, weird one.
We'll add it now so that you can settle down.
I won't be able to sleep unless we add it, Mike.
Yeah, let the baby have his bottle. That's my motto.
Thank you. Cruisin' Blast has tripping. There's a fucking dinosaur attacking you, the world falls apart. You can't do that unless you're tripping.
If Dan's like walking downstairs and I trip him and he tumbles to his death, would that be funny?
I mean, at this point, absolutely.
It would be funny. I think it would be illegal too.
Oh yeah, you're gonna spend the rest of your life. Well, not even at the rest of your life, like 5 to 10.
Right. Jeff, speaking of Echoes of Wisdom, I did go back to that. It's funny, I needed something to play, and like I almost just started replaying something else, and I had to be like, look, I know that I lost momentum with Echoes of Wisdom because all these RPGs came out that I really wanted to play urgently, like Metaphor, then Dragon Quest III. But I hate the idea of not beating a Zelda game, right? It's a franchise where I have beaten pretty much every entry except those DS ones. I like to be able to talk about them, and I was enjoying the game. I just kind of fell off. So, it is always a little hard to get back into a game when it's been months and months since I last played. It wasn't that hard for this game. Even with all the echoes and trying to remember a little bit what they did, I got back into the groove pretty quickly. And yeah, I am, in fact, still having fun with it. It's not the best Zelda game ever, but I appreciate the ways that it is unique and some of the different stuff it's doing there.
Yeah, I think I remember saying at the time, like the thing that really made me fall in love with Echoes of Wisdom is like when I realized it's like, oh, it is actually a lot more like Breath of the Wild than I realized. Where it's like, hey, these trees that traditionally would have blocked your progress from like one screen to the next in older Zelda games, you could just build something to walk over those, and now you're standing on those trees, and you could just take these shortcuts and go to places you're not really supposed to be at yet. And then when you get there, the game is ready for you. You could do all the stuff that's there, and then when you get like a quest later to actually go there, it's like, oh, I already did all that stuff. And I love a game that lets me do that. So I also lost my momentum. That is one game that like I was going to go back to, but I told you I'd do Thousand Year Door first, and I'm happy I'm doing that. But
you're a good friend.
I don't have a lot of Thousand Year Door left, so I'm going to try to clean up Echoes of Wisdom as well. Would really like to get that game done.
Anything else you've been playing though?
I've just been still playing some N64. Like I said, I got the EverDrive, so
sure.
Still trying to get through some of the more difficult, like more challenging and kind of bullshitty levels of Shadows of the Empire. But also kind of just messing around with other games here or there. I also started up, like, I think I can't talk about it for 2 more days. It's a game that's out. It's not on Switch yet, so that's frustrating. Been playing that on there, and that's been pretty nice as well. But yeah, I will say, I still want to keep picking up my Switch. Switch 2 announced. Mm-hmm. I picked that thing up. That OLED screen, still so good. Still really enjoy it. And really, with the N64 EverDrive here, it's made me like, oh, well, when I can't get to that thing, I'll just play some N64 games on NSO. That's a pretty good library at this point. I wish I had a ton more stuff, but I enjoy just kind of popping in and playing some N64 games on there, which I am feeling more nostalgic for than ever recently.
Yep, absolutely. I get that. I know I talk some crap sometimes, but God, I'm so jealous of you playing Shadows of the Empire. I want that for me so bad.
It is. I think it holds up. As long as you know what that game is and recognize it as an N64 launch game, early 3D game on a console, you could just sort of go in with that understanding. It actually holds up really well. There are some like real dumb fun ideas in that game.
You know what I want to play? I never really did play it much when it came out because it was a late N64 game, and you know how I feel about the N64 now. That was starting even during its lifetime.
Of course, yeah. Same thing happened with Wii, I bet. Yeah.
Never really played the Battle for Naboo, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's just Rogue Squadron 2, even more so than Rogue Leader in some ways.
Battle for Naboo is fantastic. Yeah, it's like maybe it has the most kind of because they are pulling from the prequels, and there wasn't a ton of prequel stuff to pull from at that time.
It was just episode 1.
It was just episode 1. Yeah, so it's like, okay, they're kind of going for some ideas here.
There were so many episode 1 games.
Yes.
It was insane. I love it now, but it's wild how many there
but
were.
It's a Factor 5 flight arcade game, and I love Battle for Naboo. I don't think that it's not as exciting to get into one of those Naboo fighters as it was to get into an X-Wing, but it's still pretty cool, especially these days, because I have a weird nostalgia for episode 1 now. So, yeah.
I'll say this. Naboo, pretty neat planet.
Yeah.
That's a pretty place. I like looking at Naboo.
Yep. That's Steph went to SF not too long ago, and she went to that I can't remember what it's called, but it's clearly what Naboo was inspired by, because Marin's not far from there, where George Lucas grew up. It's where Skywalker Ranch is, and it's this just massive thing. It's been, I think they show it in The Room a couple times. Again, I can't remember what it's called. People might remember, but she sent me pictures of this thing. I'm being there. It's like, it's so pretty, so beautiful, and I'm like, it just looks like Naboo to me, and I need to go there because of that. So, yeah, very Naboo, a good planet.
Which one? What in the marketing campaign for episode 1? I remember, it was that company that owned Taco Bell Pizza,
Yum Brands,
and KFC, and each of those were supposed to be one of the planets from episode 1. So one was Coruscant, one was Naboo, and then the other one was Tatooine. I'm trying to remember which one was Naboo. I think Taco Bell may have been the Boo.
That sounds familiar. And Dan's got it. Yes, the Palace of Fine Arts. Thank you, Dan. He says he managed Chris Masters there.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Also, Dan.
Yeah, but Dan, which fast food restaurant was the Boo?
Yeah, come on. If anyone's going to know that. Also, he said he doesn't find shoot violence to be funny, but that doesn't matter. He would be fucking dead. So when you trip him on the steps, we don't care about your opinion.
You think Taco Bell sounds right. Yeah, I think Pizza Hut was Coruscant, and I think KFC was Tatooine.
God, you're gonna make me go spend money on eBay trying to get this merch.
God, I'll tell you what. Sometimes the build-up and marketing for something is more fun than the product in episode 1.
And that's one of my weird nostalgia for episode 1 is the weeks leading up to episode 1 and seeing those damn Pepsi vending machines with the giant Jake Lloyd face on them. I think about that all the time, and it makes me happy.
Trailer.
The trailer,
God.
Yep. Waiting for Entertainment Tonight to have the trailer, going to the movie theater to watch it.
I think I told this before, but the first live stream I ever saw was in 1999 on comingsoon.net, where people were in line in the Chinese theater to see the movie a couple days ahead of time, right? That was a big thing. And they somehow had a setup where they were live from the line, but they would also play videos on the live stream, things like Hardware Wars and other famous home parodies like that. It was a lot of fun.
It was good times on the internet, even though it was definitely a precursor to the internet we have now.
It was pre 2.0, and it was a sign of things to come, but there was so much early internet charm there still.
Yep.
Jeff, would you like to read these last super chats that we have now?
Yeah, let me see here. Where did we leave off? I think I read that one. So here we are with Super Blastex, who says, I see tripping and floatiness as features and see Brawl as the aerial Smash Brothers. I appreciate for that. Makes you play different. Stay in the air. Yeah, Mike just doesn't have the skill to do that. So really, that's what it is.
Ooh. Yeah, let's trip a 737 and see how that goes.
I never change your approach to this, because you being triggered by this is just nothing but pure joy for everybody. And it is. This is very good stuff. I love this, because you get shoot mad and then you say really funny things, but it's also can't argue with that. I think that sounds like shit too. I don't know.
So I'm right.
I think I know he's right. Yeah. Neldy0990 says, been lurking for a while. Thank you both for this and your part in Giant Bomb. Hey, again, thank you, Neldy. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
We love doing this stuff, and you all make it worthwhile.
Fun. Yeah. But I always look forward to the pods.
As mentioned earlier, Luis Garcia and Nintendogs said, hey, don't forget Clubhouse games and Clubhouse. And then Datboy Jerry says, Mike, you should play Tales of Grace's F. It's not the most original JRPG ever, but the battle system is great, and the characters are super endearing. Grubb, stay very far away from it. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah.
I actually was... go ahead. Sorry, Christian.
Is this the one that got a remaster not that long ago?
Yes.
Just recently. I just bugged PR for a code and actually just came in. So I'm going to install that tonight. I'll probably play this after I beat Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, I figured this is one that would be on your radar here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. I like the Tales of games. Yep, for sure.
Is this one the one that people were clamoring for next, or?
No, but it's neat. This one was it was like a Vita game or something at first. I forget. It's not one of the ones that usually comes up. But at least for me, when I hear people talk about the ones that they really love, it's usually Symphonia, Vesperia, and Tales of the Abyss, a PS2 one. And I think Berseria has fans also, but that one's still relatively new. Generally plays just fine. Abyss, so, Symphonia had the bad remaster, but it was remastered. Yeah. Vesperia had the very good remaster. Abyss had a 3DS port, but hasn't been remastered since then. I bet that is coming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
This game was a Wii and PlayStation 3 release.
Okay, that's what it was. I knew it was something a little weird. Yeah. It didn't get quite as much publicity, but people like it.
Cool. Let's see. I think that does it for the super chats, Mike. We can wrap this show up if you're ready to do so.
I am quite ready to, as you say, wrap it up. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, everybody. That was fun. Blight Club tomorrow. Hopefully, it's been a very bad game, Drake of Nine Dragons, but Dan's been having too much success with it. So hopefully he hits a roadblock for our amusement tomorrow.
Yep. Sorry, I restarted the audio for the podcast listeners. It just was muted for the live listeners, so I started it over. I am gonna be doing stuff on GiantBomb.com this week. So check that out.
What's
I know.
that?
Yeah.
Is that a site about video games?
Side about video games. And we're going to have some fun on there. We got some plans. Virtual Fighter was mentioned. I might try to play some Sniper Elite. I'm having fun with that game right now. We got an UPF planned. We got a BCR. We're going to talk about the best music of 2024. So I think you're still a chance if you want to give some recommendations to throw those out to Sean. I'm sorry, I'm just realizing that I made a better version of the list for people to see, and then I never switched over to that screen for video listeners to actually watch that. So there you go. There's the full list.
Read it.
Mario Strikers Battle League, Cruise and Blast.
No, Lewis,
Super Chat.
He needs to accept his fate. Key and DM. Well, key for what? Key for what?
For whatever it is, you gotta accept your fate.
Thank you.
What the hell is it?
Thank you, Luis Garcia. Mikey needs to accept his fate. He and DM.
scared.
Lol.
It can't be a code for brawl. They didn't have codes back then.
That would rule if it was.
You gotta redeem that shit now.